so excited for today's show.
I am too. Guys, we were laughing actually kind of hard prepping this episode. So I'm excited for you guys to hear, especially the end. We're going to share the funniest example that we came up for what we're sharing today.
So today, guys, we are talking about what happens to your task score for task 2 if you give more reasons, better examples and reasons for the side that you don't agree with, right? If you have two sides and you support the opposite opinion better than your own opinion, what happens to your score? So, we are going to explain the scoring today, what happens to your score, and at the end of today's episode, guys, we are going to give you a fantastic and entertaining example of doing this, of what this looks like on the exam. Okay. First of all, guys, we want to thank Azada for leaving us an awesome review. Aubrey, can you read that, please?
Yes, I said, I want to thank you both for your efforts in recording this useful podcast. I'm Azada from Iran, and I started listening to your podcast from the first episode as part of my
Amazing.
plan for IELTS preparation. Amazing. I love that. It was really helpful, especially in speaking. I used your phrases, idioms, and slang. My speaking result achieved or reached 7.5, and my overall band score was 7.5 also with just 1 month of studying. Thank you. And I recommend your podcast to all my
That's
friends.
amazing.
Azada, this made our day. Thank you for
That's
leaving this
amazing.
review.
And I just realized that you listened to like over 1,000 episodes of our podcast in 1 month. I mean, you
Which I
said you only
approve.
studied for a month. That's crazy.
It is.
Guys, Azada had amazing success, and we know that our tips can help you. So hit follow right now, guys, so you never miss an episode of IELTS Energy. If you're watching us on YouTube, hit subscribe right now. Do both. Okay,
Yes.
so all right, let's get back to our topic for today. Oh, wait, first of all, I don't want to forget to talk about the poll we just did a few weeks ago. Aubrey, what was that poll and the results?
Yes, we do these fun polls in Spotify. We want to hear from you guys. And we were talking about answers about decisions for speaking, especially speaking part 3. And we asked in our poll, do parents in your country allow their children to make important decisions about the future? This is very cultural. And so many people responded. We had 70% yes, 30% no. So
That's
this was really
interesting.
interesting. Yeah.
That's interesting. It does surprise me, honestly. Like I know that there are a lot of countries out there where the parents are a lot more controlling than they are in America. Whereas like, nope, you have to study business or technology
Mm.
or law, you know what I mean? But I think this speaks to our listeners being more open-minded as well. Right? Because I think
Yeah.
maybe they're answering this like, I'm not going to force my children to make decisions. Like, I'll allow them to make their own decisions. Anyway, interesting results.
Yeah, it's really interesting to think about too because there's no right or wrong here, right?
Yeah, totally.
There definitely are a lot of people out there like, "I'm glad my parents pushed me to do something different than what I wanted to do." So, it's
Sure,
just
sure.
interesting how, something like this could be so different depending on how you grow up and how your parents feel.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. So, guys, if you're listening to us on Spotify, we post a poll for every episode and we do look at the results. They are fascinating. So, make sure you answer today's poll, guys, because we're going to read the results of today's poll on a later episode. All right, so let's get into this. First, we're going to talk about the scoring system, guys, what this does to your score, and then we're going to give you some examples in the second half of today's show. So let's talk about scoring for task 2. How does it affect your score if you provide more support for the side that you don't agree with? First of all, I mean, it's not balanced, right? That's not
Right.
a good way to write an essay. But what does it do to your score, Aubrey?
Yeah, so if you look at the task response score for writing task 2, to score a 6, it's very specific what needs to happen with your opinion. It says a position is presented that is directly relevant to the prompt, although the conclusions drawn may be unclear, unjustified, or repetitive.
Yeah.
So that might be happening here if it's not balanced, right? You've declared an opinion, but then you're writing an argument essay where you're sharing both sides of the issue. And if your reasons and details and examples are a lot stronger for the side that you're disagreeing with, you can see how this is exactly what's happening, right? It's a little unclear. Maybe your opinion is not justified strongly enough, and
Right.
that is going to score you a 6.
Exactly. However, remember that that's not the only thing the task response score is based on. You
Right,
know
good
what I
point.
mean? I mean, depending on how unbalanced it is, it could qualify for a 5 for
Right,
task, right?
right.
Because a 5 in this regard is the writer expresses a position, but the development is not always clear. So if you really have a lack of support, a clear lack of support, if there are no specific examples for your side, it is just like a general reason that you kind of just rephrase for 3 sentences and repeat, you know what I mean? Then there could be a 5. But again, guys, the task response score is based on more than this. So, what we're saying is yes, if you have an unbalanced body, if you have more support for the side that you don't agree with, then it could be a 6 or a 5. It depends on the other things. Now, what are the other things involved in the task response score?
Yeah, they're all the examiner is looking for specific details and examples. They're looking to make sure that you are directly answering the question in the prompt, right? Do you go off topic? Are you actually writing about something else, right? And then your opinion must be clear throughout the essay. So there are several things that the examiner is looking for the task score.
Exactly, guys. If you address every part of the question, but still kind of unbalanced, you could still get a 6, right? If you leave out a part of the question, if you don't address something in the question, then that's a 5 automatically. Task response is also about format. Do you have a clearly structured 4 paragraph essay or 5 paragraphs? But we don't endorse the 5 paragraphs for everyone. So, do you have a clearly structured 4 paragraph essay? Great. Format, check. If the format is not correct, if you have like a hanging sentence, that's not in a paragraph, it's a 5, right? So format matters. Okay, so that's the scoring, guys. So the takeaway about the scoring before we get to these awesome examples is yes, you can still get a 6, but not higher if you're not providing enough support for your opinion. All right, so we got 2 examples here of what this looks like in an essay. This will help you guys understand clearly what we're talking about. Aubrey, will you present the first example, please?
Yeah, so imagine the topic is about whether children should be limited or not in their use of technology. And so then you decide to write an argument essay where you're going to present both sides of this issue. In body paragraph 1, you would be talking about the opinion you don't agree with. You might talk about addiction, how children who spend too much time online are end up with these really terrible addictions. They end up with no friends, really strong anxiety, and maybe you provide really strong examples about yourself or your friends' children, and the examiner is convinced by the end of this
Right?
paragraph, right? That like technology for children leads to all of these terrible problems. And
And
then in
then,
your next
yeah.
body paragraph, you're going to share the opinion you agree with, and you've set yourself up for failure.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So picture it, guys. So you have this paragraph, super strong examples. Technology is terrible for children. And then in body paragraph 2, you say, however, that opinion is ludicrous because children need technology to succeed in the workforce in the future. And that's it. And maybe you support it with one example, right? Now this is clearly unbalanced, right? Guys, if you have way more support for one side, just say that's your opinion. Okay? Like
Yes.
that is your opinion. Even if you don't actually think that. Whatever you can support best, that is your opinion in the essay. Okay?
And this might
All right.
happen while you're brainstorming that you have decided this is my opinion and you start coming up with your ideas and your examples and you realize actually I'm much more easily able to defend this other side. Think about it. Is that actually the side you agree with? And change it before you've finished your brainstorm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly, guys. You won't have this problem if you're brainstorming correctly,
Right.
right? If you look at the notes in your brainstorm, you could clearly see which side has the best support, right? That's your side. That's your opinion. Okay. Now, here is the one that made us laugh the most. Okay. Let's say the question is about drugs and children. Okay, it's a weird question, right? And so our opinion is that drugs should be kept away from children at all costs. Okay? No drugs should wait, no, that's not correct. That's the side that we have the most for. Okay, never mind. Our opinion is that you know what?
That
Drugs
drugs
help
are
children.
necessary.
Drugs are
Yes.
great for children. Um, weird opinion, but that's ours. Drugs are great for kids. Okay, so in the body paragraph, we say, "Oh my god, prescription medication can be very harmful. Heart medication, blood pressure medication, pain management. It could lead children to die of an overdose. They could become very sick and need to be hospitalized. They may have lifelong repercussions from ingesting medication or illegal drugs that are not meant for them." And let's say I come up with a fake statistic, super strong. After reading that paragraph, I think, oh my gosh, children should not have access to any drugs ever. But then I get to paragraph two, the second body paragraph, and I say, however, I strongly disagree with that because some kids need medicine.
Yes, I could actually see myself doing this, to be honest, because my son has ADHD and he needs medication. So I could see myself having this opinion of like, medication is necessary for some children. And then I could also see myself doing this, having the other side, but I'm coming up with all of these reasons and making it really strong. And then all of a
Yes,
sudden, then I have my opinion. Nevertheless, right? Children who have certain diagnoses need medication. And I have created a real problem for myself because I've convinced the examiner that all of these terrible things could happen if children take medication. And yet I still, right? We're just
totally.
setting ourselves up for a low score.
But what a strong essay that would be if you flipped it, right? In the
Right.
second paragraph, you're like, I can see how some children need access to certain medications. And then you have this one very strong reason with a very specific example, right? But
Right.
then in the next paragraph, you can be like, however, in general, I do feel that drugs and children do not mix. And then we have all of these very strong reasons and examples.
Yes.
Okay, guys.
I think you have
All
to
right.
think about imagine the examiner reading your essay. You have to convince them that your opinion makes sense. You have to justify it. It's not enough
Yeah.
just to state it, right? You have to make sure that it is convincing. And if you end up convincing the examiner that the other side is more justified as a stronger idea, then you will get a lower task score.
Yes. So that's the takeaway, guys. Whatever side you come up with the best reasons or examples for, that is paragraph three in your essay, which is body paragraph two. I know that's confusing, but it's paragraph three of your essay. Um, that is the one that has the best reasons, the best examples, the most proof, the strongest proof is paragraph three, and that should be your stated chosen side.
Right? That is how you score 7 or higher for the task response. Definitely.
Exactly.
Awesome.
All
I'm
right, guys.
excited, Jessica. I've seen a lot of students make this mistake, so I'm excited that you guys now know how to avoid it. You understand how to boost those writing scores on test day.
Totally, totally. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us, and we'll be back again next week.
Awesome. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.